Joining me now, Washington Times opinion editor and Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt. We are both from Southside, Virginia, the 5th District. Charlie's brother was congressman of that very district. They both came to my mother's funeral. And so I will talk to Charlie about, like we would if I was standing in his backyard. This might have been a little, tiff last week. It was a lot of hullabaloo, but it's not what Hakeem Jeffries is talking about.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And it's what's so funny about it. Listening to him talk about the health and welfare of the American people is kind of hysterical when you stop and you look at what the federal government has done for the health and welfare of the American people to the tune of $32 trillion in debt. Mm-hmm. And, if you go back and you look at the demands, the concerns that these extreme MAGA Republicans have raised, such as the catastrophic overspending by Congress, or the wide open border, or the hundreds of thousands of Americans being killed because of fentanyl overdoses because of Joe Biden's wide open border. It's a little bit kind of comical to listen to them. Look, they're hiding behind all of this because their ideas are terrible, their agenda is terrible, and obviously, the next 2 years are going to be tough. They're going to be hard for Republicans in Congress, but that's why what they need to do is they need to define the 2024 election now in the House. This is their place to do it, and they make it about spending and the border.
So, but break that down for me a little bit more. I know that you wrote a piece about it, Charlie. How do they do that, particularly in terms of spending? Because if you want to make me mad, I'm not going to talk about those 20 Republicans last week in the House. I'm going to start by talking about Mitchie McConnell and those Republicans over in the Senate, the ones who voted for the infrastructure, with Mitch standing with Joe Biden in front of a bridge in Kentucky, and the Republicans who voted for that semiconductor boondoggle, and that helped shepherd through that omnibus spending bill to the tune of $1.7 trillion. And Richard Shelby down in Alabama, who out the door got $666 million in earmarks on the way. I mean, wouldn't a watch suffice, Richard Shelby? And exactly. Was 666 an accident?
It could have been like even a Rolex, a really nice, like the highest top-end Rolex watch would have been better than how bad the American people got screwed on that one. But even when you get into the weeds, what the holdouts were talking about is the idea that you would pass a $1.7 trillion spending bill without any debate. There was no debate. They wouldn't let any debate. They wouldn't even let people read it because it was so odious that they couldn't get people to support it if they read it. But this is where the Republicans in the House, and they have limited power, but this is where they have to make their fight. They have to make their fight about spending, about ridiculous, out of control spending in Washington. That is every time. And also, don't forget this, Dagan. 3-4 years ago, we had never heard of a $1 trillion bill. We'd never heard of it before. Now, every Congress, we crank out these trillion-dollar bills that nobody's read. They are not paid for. It's a big lie that they're paid for. Nobody's read them, and they pass them, and they're filled with all this corrupt pork and all this stuff. But the important thing that Republicans have to make, the argument they have to make, is that every bit of this spending devalues the dollar that is in the American's pocket standing in line at the grocery store to pay their grocery bill. They have to make that connection for people, and they failed to win that argument in the last election. But I think that if they play it smart, they can make the argument and win it in 2024, because everything that these people are doing, Hakeem Jeffries and these people are doing in Washington, is devaluing every penny that is in the American consumer's pocket at the grocery store and at the gas station.
Right. And McCarthy still got the golden ring, or whatever little prize you get for being speaker. And even the Wall Street Journal totally disagree with the editorial. I sometimes agree with them, but they were like, the price for McCarthy's speakership could cost vital U.S. defense spending. Even people on that editorial board will tell you everything has to get cut. everything, as if this is like some golden, untouchable orb, the defense spending. You know what? They're all sucking at the teat. Lockheed, Boeing, you name it. We got to go, Charlie. Love you much.
Yeah.
Charlie Hurt.